Welcome back to Math Zen, everyone. This video is going to continue with questions 17 and 18 of our Fast Test Prep for 5th grade series under the Algebraic Reasoning umbrella. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at problem number 17 of our Fast Test Prep for 5th grade series. I suggest you pause here to give yourself a few minutes to read and solve this problem on your own before I do so in the next scene.
Let me try to figure this out.
Alright, now that you've had a chance to work this out on your own, let's go ahead and take a look to see how you did. The problem here reads, what number will make the equation below true? And the equation we have is 47 times blank equals 4,700. So for here, I want to draw your attention over here to the post-it that I gave you, and I want you to notice where the decimal point is located in each of these products and see if you can see some type of pattern that's going on. I want you to notice that the decimal point that is in the product, it jumps to the right for every increasing multiple of 10. Now, instead of saying that the decimal point is jumping to the right, sometimes you'll hear teachers refer to the product itself and the digits that are in the product moving to the left while the decimal point itself stays stationary. I just prefer to teach my students to physically jump the decimal to the right for every increasing multiple of 10. So as you can see here, based on this pattern, the answer to this problem would be 100. So if you got 100 for your missing number, good job. Alrighty, nice job with number 17. Let's move into number 18 now. Just a word of caution, this one is very hard, so when you pause the screen here, you might want to take 3 to 4 minutes to try to solve this one. Also, we're going to break this up into 18A and 18B. Good luck.
I wonder what the answer is. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Alrighty, now that you've had a chance to read and solve this problem on your own, let's go ahead and try to tackle it together to see how you did. The problem reads, the local ice cream shop is keeping track of how many cakes they sell in a week. The list below shows the sales. So we had 1/4 were vanilla on vanilla, 3/8 were vanilla on chocolate, 1/12 were chocolate on chocolate, and the rest were vanilla on cookies and cream. So the equation that we would need to set up here is 1/4 vanilla on vanilla plus 3/8 vanilla on chocolate plus 1/12 chocolate on chocolate plus our mystery number, vanilla on cookies and cream, is going to equal our total cakes sold. But as you know, in order to add fractions, they have to have common denominators. And I suggest that you always use the least common denominator. And in order to find that, we would need to list the multiples of 4, the multiples of 8, and the multiples of 12 until they had a match. And if we do that, the first match that they actually share is the number 24. So 24 is the LCD. And we would use that by writing 24 as each of our new denominators and then asking ourselves what we did to the original denominator to create that. So 4 times what gave us 24? Well, 4 times 6. Then you would go to the numerator and do the same thing. And our new fraction for 1/4 is actually 6/24. Then for 3/8, we ask what did we do to the 8 to make 24? Well, we multiplied by 3. Same thing to the numerator, and we're going to get 9. So our new fraction there is 9/24. And then finally, what did we do to this 12? Well, we multiplied it by 2, which means I have to go to the numerator and do the same, which gives me 2/24. So my 3 renamed fractions are 6/24, 9/24, and 2/24. All right, now that we have our 3 renamed fractions, all we have to do is add the numerators since our denominators are the same. So 6 plus 9 plus 2 gives us 17/24, and this represents the 3 types of cakes that were sold, except for the vanilla and cookies and cream. So what we need to do with this is take 17/24 away from 24/24, which represents all of the cakes, and we would get left with a difference of 7/24. So 7/24 is the amount of ice cream cakes that were vanilla on cookies and cream. Great job if you got that. Now let's move on to 18b. All right, now let's try to tackle problem 18b. Hopefully this one is a little bit easier than 18a. The problem reads, if they sold 240 ice cream cakes last week, how many cakes were chocolate on chocolate? So all we have to do here is find 1/12 of 240. And as you know, the word of just means to multiply. So what we're really solving here is 1/12 times 240. And as you should have already learned, when you are multiplying a whole number in a fraction, all you have to do is put a 1 underneath the whole number and simply multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator, which is going to give us 240 over 12. And when we finish that, you are going to get a final answer of 20. So 20 out of the 240 ice cream cakes were chocolate on chocolate. Now I have to be very honest, if you got 18A and 18B correct, you are well on your way to a high level on this year's FAST test. Very good job.
Whew, that was a tough set of questions. Specifically 18A and 18B. Hopefully you stuck with it until the end. It's important to persevere through difficult questions like that because they all won't be as hard as that on the real test. Now go take a break. You've earned it. And as always, don't forget to find your Math Zen.